Hello guys, welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and this message, it comes from a translation of a message that I received, and the message reads like this. Hello Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my story as anonymous? I have my own story that I want to share with you. Please, when you post my story, hide my identity. I am a woman who is aged 28 years old. I have a lot of confessions that I have to share with you. Okay, let me start with this one first. So, when we were still in high school, I had two of my friends. The other friend of mine, she is currently living in Europe. Then the other friend of mine, unfortunately, she passed away. So the one that passed away, I really feel guilty about the way that she passed away. So when we were still in high school, she had a boyfriend, and that other one who was in Europe, she also had a boyfriend as well. So amongst my friends, I was the only one who didn't have a boyfriend. I don't know what was going on with me, but whenever I would try to date a guy, then that guy will just say, I can't date you anymore because you are ugly. People are laughing at me. They'll say that I am dating such an ugly girl, so I can't date you anymore. I ended up feeling very insecure about my looks because I thought that I didn't deserve to have a boyfriend at all. And when I would look at my friends, I would then find out that my friends, they had good relationships, and their relationships, they were working out very great. Then this friend of mine, the one that passed away, I then started feeling jealousy over her life. I felt so jealousy over her love life because there was a guy, this guy, he was a shy guy that I was aiming at, and I could not approach him, me being a girl. And when I would look at him, he had those intentions wanting to approach me, but he never did because he was a shy guy. So I then spoke with my best friend, and I told her that she was supposed to be, the letter girl who was going to make things happen between me and that shy guy. So each and every day we would go over at that guy's place, then we'll just chill just outside with him. Then she'll be speaking with that guy all the time. When we will be chilling, I just thought that maybe she was negotiating the relationship for me, but I was so wrong. She was just sorting everything for herself. She had already fallen in love with that guy that I wanted to date. I only found out about this relationship by mistake because there was another day when I had gone to my friend's place, and when I went to her place, I could not find her, so I didn't know where she was. Feeling bored, I tried to reach her on the phone, but I could not get hold of her. So I said, let me go. At that time, I wanted to go and check this other friend, but she was not a friend of mine. We were just in the same class, but she stayed in the same street where that guy that I wanted to date was staying. So I went to her place just using her so that I can speak with that guy that I wanted to date. But Brother Nashi, when I entered into that girl's street, I then found my friend. She was standing with that boyfriend to be of mine. They were hugging each other. They even kissed each other before they had seen me. That was when they started pretending as if nothing had happened between them. But after that, that was when my friend told me that she had fallen in love with that guy, and they were now an item. So Brother Nashi, me not wanting to destroy our friendship, I then chose to let it go. But deep down in my heart, it really felt painful. And at the end of the day, after we had written our exams and when the results came out, amongst my friends, I was the only one who had failed those exams, and I could not be accepted into any university. Left with no option, I was then taken to a technical college by my parents. So the pain was just too much because those friends of mine, they were now going to the same university as well as that guy that I wanted to date. He was was now attending the same university with my friend, so I knew that their relationship was going to continue, and yet I was now going to a technical college out of town all by myself. I was really feeling left out, and I kept on blaming this friend of mine, that one that passed away, because when I could not date that guy that she was dating, it gave me a lot of anxiety and stress, so much that whenever I would find myself studying, I'll find myself staring at the books, trying to concentrate. But how could I concentrate when I was feeling so much anxiety and stress, thinking about the way that she was a thief who had stolen my so-called boyfriend? So I ended up failing my exams, and I was all alone in college. Then they were sending me their pictures because I had moved out of town, and I was now staying with my auntie, so that was the way that we used to communicate. So in the area where I was now staying with my auntie, it was a mining town. There were a lot of gold miners that were coming to town, and most of them, they were illegal gold miners, and there was money, a lot of money used to fly around in that small town. So these illegal gold miners, they always had a lot of cash on them. So I started dating these guys that always had cash on them. So as I spoke with that friend of mine who was dating the guy that I wanted to date when I was still in high school, that was when I thought of a plan that I wanted to break up my friend. I wanted to break up her relationship with that guy that I was attracted to, because I thought that he was my husband to be. So I told my friend that there was this other good guy. He was looking for a good girlfriend, and I thought that she was the perfect match. And at that time, I lied to her and I said that this guy, he had a lot of money and he was ready to get married. So she quickly agreed. Funny enough, Brother Nashi, but she agreed. Then we organized with that guy. The guy then went and he collected my friend at the place where she was staying whilst she was attending university. That was when they started dating. Then my friend broke up with that guy that was my crush when we were still in high school, and I then managed to date that guy whom I loved from my school for a little while. But now that I was more mature, I then saw that this guy, even though he was my high school crush, but he was forever broke. He had nothing. That was when I broke up with him, because I was now dating men that had a lot of money. So at the time when I was organizing this relationship for my friend so that they can start dating, this guy, Brother Nashi, whom I wanted my friend to date, he was an illegal gold buyer, and I knew that the guy, he was HIV positive, and I lied to my friend that this guy, he had showed me his results, he was HIV negative, but he had been positive for a very, very long time, because when I had tried to date this guy the first time, when he had told me that he wanted to date me when I had arrived in town, when I was now staying with my auntie, one of my cousin's sister then told me not to date the guy because he was a man who was known as an HIV carrier. He had been living with the HIV virus for a very, very long time. So that was when I thought of a plan. All that I wanted to do at that time was to fix my friend. So when she asked me about this man's health, I said, no, the guy is good. He actually showed me his results, lying to her with stuff like that. So from day one, my friend just got into that relationship blindfolded by love and blindfolded by my advice that I used to give her. And I told her that it was far much better for her to get pregnant for him as quickly as she could, because at that time her parents were failing to keep up with the bills, and I advised her to fall pregnant for this guy and not to use any protection and stuff like that when they will be sleeping together. So they started dating, and then my friend fell pregnant for the guy. After she had fallen pregnant for the guy, she had an abortion. I was the one who advised her to have an abortion. After that, she then lost a lot of blood because of the way that she had an abortion. She went to those illegal abortion clinics. Then she fell ill, and when she got ill, Brother Nashi, I then told her that if she would go to the clinic, she was going to get arrested because having an abortion, it is a crime. Then she believed me, so she didn't go to the clinic. She just kept it as a secret from her parents. All the while, she was just losing a lot of blood. And what pains me the most is that when she told me that she was not feeling okay, because when she would be walking around as someone who had lost a lot of blood, she was always feeling dizzy. I encouraged her not to go to the clinic. I said, no, do not go to the clinic, because if you go there, they are going to find out that you had an abortion. And think of your parents. What are they going to think of you? They will say that you are very evil. You had an abortion. Yet I was the one who had encouraged her to fall pregnant, and after she had fallen pregnant, I was the one who had encouraged her to have an abortion. Now I was telling her that if she goes to the clinic, then she was going to be exposed and everyone was going to know that she had an abortion. So Brother Nashi, she listened to my advice. She then started visiting a lot of traditional healers, and she used to take a lot of herbs, and I kept on encouraging her to take those herbs. Each and every day I would call her asking her if she had taken the herbs that she had been given by the traditional healer in time. It was an evil thing that I did, but I kept on encouraging her not to go and get tested. She was only tested for HIV when she was lying on her deathbed, and unfortunately, when she was taken for the treatment, it was a little bit too late. She could not fight. Her body could not fight anymore. That was how she passed away. When she passed away, then life continued. And the other friend of mine, she then moved. She went to Europe. And when she went to Europe, she quickly got married. And I don't know, maybe me having done such an evil act whereby I had contributed to my friend's death, maybe there were now demons that were chasing me, because when I heard the news that my friend was married there in Europe, what happened is that my friend's little sister, who was still here in Zim at that time, she was the one who called me. I felt so much anger as to why my friend did not tell me that she had gotten married, and I felt so jealousy, and I said that it had to be me, not her. Why God had chosen her over me? So I started planning my next move, and as a friend of mine, we were always in communication. And at that time, when she was in Europe, she was the one who introduced me to WhatsApp, because we used to speak on Facebook like always, and she said that us communicating via Facebook, it was taking a long time. She said try to download this app that is called WhatsApp. She was like my first contact that I had on WhatsApp, so we would talk, and she was that kind of a friend who always sent me pictures. Each and everything that she would be doing, she would be sending me those pictures. Even when she would be in bed with her husband, she would be sending me, like giving me each and every update as to what was going on. As time went on, Brother Nashi, the more that she would send me the updates about her life, the more jealousy I felt, because I saw that I was someone who was left behind and she was progressing in life. I felt really jealousy over the kind of life that she was now living, especially the time when she went with her husband on her vacation. I then went and I spoke with this other woman. The woman that I was now speaking with, she was a prophet. She said no, she cannot assist me in such a way, because I was asking her to do something that was really evil. She said, no, I cannot assist you, because I cannot live with the guilt on my mind, because I wanted her to help me to destroy my friend's marriage. She then said, but if you want the people who can assist you, the only people who will be willing to assist you, they are traditional healers. Here in Zim, there are different types of traditional healers. There are those traditional healers that speak directly with their ancestors, those ones that wear the black garment garments. Then she said, if you go to them, they are not going to assist you because they do not touch anything that is dangerous. But what you need to do is that when you go around looking for those traditional healers, you need to find those traditional healers that throw their bones on the floor. They are the ones that will do anything for you just for the right price. She said, do not look for those traditional healers that speak directly with their ancestors. So my brother, I began with my search, and as I was searching around, that was when I came across this other woman. She was a traditional healer, but she was from Mozambique, but she was staying here in Zim. In Zim, this type of a traditional healer, we call it Nganga. So when I spoke with her, she said that for the right price, she was willing to assist me, but she will need some items. These items that she will need, they were items that were personal to my friend. Those were the items that she was going to use for the rituals. The money that was needed for these rituals, Brother Nashi, it was quite a lot. So I then started dating a lot of gold buyers, even though I was dating these guys before. I then started dating this other guy. He was a diamond buyer, but he was dating, but this guy, he was buying diamonds illegally. That was how I got infected with HIV. All that I wanted was someone who was going to give me the money, because this lady, she had told me that a lot of money was required from me. So no single boyfriend. So amongst my boyfriend, I could not get one who was willing to give me all of the money. So I had to make sure that all of them, they were going to give me the money a little bit by a little bit. So when I had gotten the money, Brother Nashi, I then returned back to that woman and I told her that I had everything. The only thing that I didn't have were the personal items that belonged to my friend. She said that that was really easy. We could now start with the process, but it was going to be challenging. She said that she was going to do some charms for me first so that I can convince my friend to send me some of her personal stuff from Europe, sending them to Zim. So as I was speaking with my friend, what I'll do is that any picture that she will send to me, then I will download it. And in those days, WhatsApp still didn't have any statuses. There was no such thing as a WhatsApp status. So she used to send me the pictures personally, then I would download the pictures and I would go and speak with those people that had internet cafes. Then I would ask them to do a print out photo of the picture that I would have sent to them. So what she used to do, that woman who was a traditional healer that I was consulting with, she used to take those pictures, then she would pierce them together with a lot of needles and a lot of small red cloth all over the pictures. That is what she used to do. Then after she had done those charms, she would give me some of the pictures. Then she said that I had to place those pictures underneath my pillow. So she said that by me placing all of the charms that she had given me and the pictures that were pierced together by some needles, she said that when I'll be placing them underneath my pillow and by the time that I'll be sleeping, we were then creating sort of like a spiritual connection, like a bridge that was going to be there between me and my friend, so that anything that I was going to request from her, she won't have the power to deny me anything, because I'll be controlling her spiritually. So when it was time, she told me that now I could demand anything from my friend. We started by testing my friend. I asked my friend to send me some money, and she then sent me the money that I had requested from her. After that, I then told my friend that I needed one of her dresses. Brother Nashi, you won't even believe it. I told my friend that I had seen this other picture of hers, and I told her that I wanted the dress that she was wearing in that picture, and I wanted her to send me that dress. She said, no, let me buy another one, just like the one that you saw me wearing in that picture. I am going to buy another one, then I will send it to you via DHL. And I said, no, I want that one. I want your dress. And I told her that I wanted to wear that dress at this other party where I had been invited. And she said, but this date that you have given me, I still need to clean up this dress because I had recently worn it and I had not yet washed it up. And I said, no, just send it as it is. You are my friend, you are my sister. And that was how she ended up sending me one of her personal items. And I took the dress when the DHL had the dress delivered to Zim, and I took that dress back to that traditional healer, and the traditional healer started using the charms on that dress. After that, she told me that I had to look for money because we had to hire a car. The river where we were supposed to go to, people say that it is a holy river, so there was a long distance from the town where we were staying going to that river. So I went around sleeping with different men for the sake of money, and after I had raised up enough money to hire the car and for the fuel cost and to pay that traditional healer, that was when I paid her and we looked for a car to hire. Then we went to that river, which a lot of people say that it is a holy river. When we went there, Brother Nashi, we then dumped all of the charms and my friend's dress, the one that she had sent to me from Europe. So the way that we did, Brother Nashi, is that when we had arrived at the river, she then told me that I had to get into the river and I had to curse my friend, or to place a curse on my friend's life, and I had to curse her in whatever way that I saw fit. So I went into the river. Whilst I was standing in the river, I then cursed my friend and I told the river that as long as it will be flowing, then my friend, and I then told the river that as long as it will be flowing, so the curse should remain upon my friend's life. And I didn't want my friend's marriage to last, and I didn't want her to have a baby. After that, I then threw the dress and the charms into that river. Then her dress started flowing with the river. And when I walked out of the river, then that traditional healer said that, I heard that you say that you do not want her to fall pregnant. But in this case, this curse that you have placed upon her, it means that you have to pay me an extra fee, because that was not our agreement. All that you wanted to do was for her marriage not to last, but now you want to tie a womb, so you need to pay up some more. So I ended up paying up some more, and she said that for her, like my friend, not to have a baby, the ritual that we had done, it was not going to work. So we were supposed to perform another ritual. After we had performed the ritual, then we had to quickly return back to the river. And this had to be done in the same day before sunset. But the distance, Brother Nashi, I knew that we were not going to make it. We returned back to town, and she then told me that I had to go around looking for a wooden plate. This wooden plate, it is mostly used by white garment churches. In Zim, we call this wooden plate Mbia. So she said that go into town and try and to buy one. I rushed into town, Brother Nashi, but I looked around and I searched everywhere. I could not find a place where people were selling such a wooden plate. Then I returned back to that woman's compound, and she had said that before sunset we had to complete this ritual, otherwise it was not going to work. When I went around and when I came back with nothing, she said it is okay, it is fine. I have seen everything that is going on. I have seen that her ancestors are trying to fight for her on that part when you said that you do not want her to fall pregnant, but I know that there is always a plan B. By the end of the day, we are going to win this war. So Brother Nashi, she ended up selling me one of her wooden plates. So when she gave me that wooden plate, she then gave me a scissors and a red cloth. And this red cloth that she gave me, it was 1 meter by 1 meter. Then she gave me a scissors and she said, okay, cut this red cloth into several strips, and I want you to tie those strips that you would have cut around the wooden plate. So after I had done that, she then said, repeat that same curse that you have placed on your friend, that friend of mine who was in Europe. I then started cursing my friend, and I left the rest of the curse that I had placed upon her life when I was in the river, like me not wanting her to be in marriage or to stay in that marriage of hers anymore. I then said, You, name hidden, I do not want you to fall pregnant in this lifetime, but in this lifetime you are going to have a lot of babies, but these babies that you are going to have, they are not going to be physical babies. You are going to have a lot of spiritual babies. When people look at you, they will think that you have a baby, but you will never be able to have a child. Men that are going to date you, they will think that maybe you have 5 or 6 kids, but you will never have any physical baby. Over your lifetime, you are not going to have the joy of giving birth. And after I had done that, she then told me that I had to carefully place that egg inside that wooden plate. She then said that the egg that she had given me, it represented my friend's womb, my friend who was in the United Kingdom. Then we walked from that woman's compound and we went into the bushes. This we did quickly because she said that we had to do this ritual before sunset. Otherwise, her ancestors were going to fight for her and we won't be able to tie her womb. We then walked, Brother Nashi, until we found a place where termites were still building an anthill. She then said I had to place that wooden plate so that as the termites will be busy building their anthill, they will just build over that wooden plate, thereby closing my friend's womb. And in that process, I had to make sure that the egg was not going to get damaged. Otherwise, the ritual was not going to work. So carefully, I then placed that wooden plate, thereby closing the egg. Then I rose up and we just left. And she then said to me that I should not look back. So that is the sin. So those are the sins that I have committed in this world, Brother Nashi. And all of them, I did them because I was just jealous of my friends. So many years have passed, Brother Nashi. This friend of mine, she always speak with me on the issue of her not being able to give birth. And being there in Europe, she has the opportunity to visit the best medical doctors, but still they can't solve her problems because her womb, Brother Nashi, it is buried underneath an anthill, and there is no one who can fix this because this is nothing but a spiritual matter. So these sins that I have committed, yes, there was a time in my life that they used to give me sleepless nights, but after you have committed a sin, I think that your heart will just become hard like a rock. I used to get those sleepless nights until one day I just said, like, whatever. I ended up telling myself that I had to do what I had to do because that was the only thing that I could have done at that time. Brother Nashi, you just do not know the pressure that I was going through when that other friend of mine was still alive and when that other friend of mine was now married in Europe. The pressure was just too much. Your dear listeners, right there was a message that I received. Then we had to give you this translation.